And he was like, okay. So that's exactly what we did. I've never redone a song completely like that, so that definitely took the longest. But it was cool to watch one song turn into another. And now when I listen back to the other version, it feels so different and really far away. And it also doesn't feel as good. The new Impossible is definitely my favorite. So, everyone's asking who Sophia is, but it's just not a person. But I keep saying it's about Sofia Coppola because they're spelled the same way. But it's not really about anyone in particular. I just like the idea of having someone's name be the title and have it be a little corny. Dedicate a song to someone else. I think that's like, or at least just have their name be the title. I don't know. What I'm talking about. If I were to recommend any artist, who would it be? Oh man, that's the hardest question I think I've ever been asked in my life. I feel like I have to check my computer. Well, I think I would, has to be someone older, right? I don't know. I'm gonna say, fuck. I don't know. Listen to Roberta Flack. Do that one. She's great. Biggest thing I hope people take from the album. I just hope they enjoy it. I don't know. I mean, every song is really personal to me. And every song kind of felt like a full circle moment for me in a way. Creating it, finishing it. It filled up so many holes in my life, writing those songs and listening back and knowing what they're about. And feeling like I got something out of that writing. I don't know. People, once it's out in the world, it's not up to me to decide what it means or how it affects someone. So I'm perfectly fine with not knowing how every song affected someone else. I think that's what's really cool about music in general. What song am I excited to perform? I think Sophia, because we haven't learned it yet, and I think lots of people are mad that I haven't reformed it. Like, we were in Paris, and I had a lot of people that were angry with me because we didn't play it, but we haven't learned it yet. So once we learn that, it's gonna go off. It's gonna be so fun. You know. No questions. Questions about the album. Still no questions. That's fine. I'll just sit here. Is it hard to make your lyrics so personal? No. I don't think that's kind of the way that I write in general, is very personal. Because I do believe that it's hard to write songs that aren't about something that you've specifically experienced, at least for me. But at the same time, there are songs where I take on a persona, or I try to put myself in someone else's shoes, like in a relationship or whatever. But I think a song has to be personal for it to get through to anyone, for the most part, at least for me. I don't know. Are there going to be any videos? Yeah, there are. I'm super picky about videos. And I'm working on them. I am. I just want the first visuals to the album to be really special and for them to make sense. And for them to not stray too far away from who I am, what I want out of everything. I think this whole album process has kind of forced me to think about what I actually want and what I want to do, and learning to not budge on that is important. So I'm not going to release a video until it's perfect and until I want to watch it 1,000 times and not get bored. Was it hard to write Alewife? Yes. It's a very dark song. I haven't really talked about that meaning yet. I guess I have in interviews, but I haven't really spoken about it on an Instagram live before. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna fucking talk about it. But that song it's named after a train station that I went to a lot growing up. Like half an hour outside the town that I grew up in. It was a place that I would drive to in high school. I drive to it, and then I get on the Alewife stop and take the red line to wherever the fuck I wanted to go to in the city. It was kind of almost like a portal for me into different worlds. I felt like my world at home and my world in the city was so different, each of them. And it always excited me to go into the city and feel that freedom that I craved so hard. But it's about a time in 8th grade where I just really didn't think that I had anything else to live for. I had anything to live for. I felt like I didn't have a lot of friends. I didn't have someone who wanted me to be their best friend, you know? And it was hard. There was a lot of emotional turmoil at that time, and I just felt really sad, and like I didn't belong, and I didn't see any end in sight. And you know, it got to a point where things just got really scary. But my friend Alexa is the one that just completely switched everything for me. And the song is really a love song towards her. It's a celebration and a thank you to my friend Alexa for being there for me that night and being there for me at a time where I didn't have a lot of people that would have done that. And she's still one of my best friends in the whole world. And there's no one like her. So instead of making the song only sad, I wanted to talk a lot about her and how special she is and how everyone can have someone in their life that is like that, and can be that for you. There's always going to be someone in your life that would, come out of the woodwork to make you feel better and to save your life. So got that one out of the way. But yeah. My favorite moment in the album, I think the ending of If I Wouldn't Ask You, or when it switches, is like one of my favorite moments ever. It was really, really, really fun. That song was like, I wrote that on piano. I was doing piano, and I did all of the other shit on the song, and kind of had this demo. The first half is pretty much mostly me, and then I had this idea of having kids on it, like months in advance before we actually got them on there. And then one day the band came to the studio, and I played them this song, or I guess I was just playing it, but I was playing the same chords as the demo. I was playing it on this other synth that had a completely different sound, and felt very different, but I don't know why I was playing it. But as I kept playing it, the band kind of chimed in on other instruments. Eddie came in on drums, and we kind of made this rebirth of the song, which felt more uplifting to me in a way. And I wanted to have them as two separate songs, like one of the demo be the first one and the uplifting one be the last one, but Roslyn had the idea of just conjoining them and making it a really long song, which I was a little nervous about, but we did it. And then Peter Cottontail helped me with the transition, and yeah, it just kind of became this really long piece of a song. Yeah, it's like that song took the longest, I think. Just in a way, like it was the first song I wrote for the record. So I guess that one was like the longest, but I had it for a while, I guess. Yeah. Will I release some demos of the songs? Yeah. What's funny is that Sinking actually was more of this folk country song, which sounds so crazy. But one of my managers, Jimmy, sent me that demo the other day, and he was like, "Do you realize how much you fucked up the song?" And I was like, "Oh wow, it's so different. It's so different now." Because I think when I was in the studio, I was doing the guitar, and I made the instrumental with the drum machine, and then just used the first lyrics that I could pull up on my phone, which ended up being the Sinking lyrics, which were for the other song. So then I just ended up keeping the other version, but I might release the other country like folk version just because it's funny, but it's still really good. It's very different, but it's cool to see how a song can morph into another thing. I just felt like it the message of Sinking actually fit more with the slower feel, just because Sinking is a lot about my arthritis, and it's a lot about how I felt like it's a lot about how I felt like I couldn't be good enough for someone. I felt like I couldn't. I guess my arthritis just kind of tore my confidence apart, especially when it came to being intimate with someone. If I wanted to be intimate with somebody, it really took a toll on my. This is so weird for me to talk about. it took a toll on my confidence about how I looked and how I didn't feel like I was desired. But then the song is about me finding someone that doesn't care and can see past it. But the thing about arthritis is that you can't really see it unless you're looking for it, or unless you can be, unless you talk about it, because it's not something you see on the outside. Which is kind of like the song, because if you're just listening to it, it just sounds like a song that you would put on in a place where you're intimate with somebody else. It feels like you'd put it on when you want to be intimate with somebody, but when you listen to it, you realize it's about arthritis, which is really funny. I feel like I'm not going to do this for very long, for longer. Oh my god. Where did I record the album? It was recorded in Los Angeles for the most part. And then I got tired of going to LA. So we recorded some in Atlanta, which is where I live. Yeah. Any more questions? Or else I'm... My favorite album as a kid. Whoa. Oh my god. I was just fucking talking about this. What's that album called? Is it just called what I think it is? No. Made of Bricks by Kate Nash is incredible. And I've always loved it, but I realized that I had it on CD, and I had my portable CD player, and I found it not too long ago, and it was the only CD that I had left, and I listened to it. It's such a good album. Such a good album. I love her. Okay, what questions am I ignoring by accident? If I could change one thing, what would it be? Oh man. Damn, I don't know what I would change. Maybe that's a good thing, but I wouldn't change a lot. I don't know what I'd change. I like it. I don't want to hate it. The album is mainly about me overcoming a lot of negative experiences, but trying to look at them in a positive way. Taking a positive spin on things that are usually upsetting, whether it's dealing with your mental health or figuring out your sexuality. Not that that's a negative thing, more just like the process of knowing about it early on and not having anyone that you feel like you can talk about it to. And other things like arthritis and relationships. There's a way to flip it into something that is good and that can do good. Kind of being immune to the negative things in life and staying positive throughout those experiences and being able to zoom out and understand that there are peaks and valleys to everything. There are highs and lows to everything. So it's important to me. Which song was the hardest to write? Probably L Life, just because. How long did it take to write White Flag? I wouldn't say that long. The production and the actual finishing the song took months, but I like the writing because it doesn't really have any structure. The song is like all over the place, but it tells a story, which I'm more concerned with. And it just kind of talks about the relationships you have, friendships you have in middle school, and how it's sad when they're not what you expect them to be. And, you know, when they don't go the way that you want them to, but it happens to the best of us, I guess. This is okay, so many questions now. Fuck. These are really good questions. Oh. Oh man. The writing process for how did the writing process for Immunity differ from the process of your other projects? That's a good one. It was completely different. I think just because I've never spent that much time on songs and on one body of work. I was always so used to and so okay with writing songs for in one sitting and being like, okay, let's just put it out there. Whatever, it's not going to be better than this, you know. There's something so great in the demo. There's something so great about it sounding so raw and pure. Yeah, of course. But I think I was losing sight of what my songs could be, the potential that they could reach if I just spent a little more time on them. Because there are lots of songs that I listen to that I posted on SoundCloud or whatever. And I was like, damn, if I just spent a little more time on this song, this could have been better, in my opinion. But that's not what happened. But Bags we spent so long on, and that was one session. I was done writing Bags, and I had all the guitar and whatever, but Rostam really forced me into taking it slow and thinking about everything, and I was really happy and blessed that he was able to teach me how to slow down and just learn a new way of writing, a new way of creating music, which is how I like to do it now. I think I'm going to take my time more often. I probably should. Is Baby Q in here? Amazing. Oh my goodness. All right, now these questions are just any more about the record? How would I explain the backstory of Immunity? I guess with this record, I just wanted to go back. I don't know. That's hard. That's a hard question. I guess I just really wanted to do it the right way. Wanted to take the time to write. I wanted to take the time to produce. I wanted to think about the meaning of everything. I wanted everything to feel like it had a purpose. I didn't want to include anything that I wouldn't be able to talk a lot about. I can pull the experience that it was from and what I was feeling at the time. Being able to put how I'm feeling into song is the best thing about being there. Have people like y'all that are interested in hearing what I have to say and asking for music. There are lots of things that I could be doing instead of this, but I'm so grateful that this is what I get to do because of y'all. Fuck, my knees hurt. How has my writing changed from your early songs? Meaning and has value. That's what I care about the most. Would I ever remake some of my old songs on SoundCloud? Yeah, I would definitely do that. I was thinking about doing that for the next record, but it also feels like a lot. But I feel like I'll either release the demos on streaming or I'll re-record them, but kind of release it in more of like a casual. Put on the record, but there's so many that if I were to do every single one, it would have to be a whole album in itself. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, there's still so many people in here. I think it helped me slow down a lot of parts in my life. I think when I learned how to slow down relationships and my personal life in general, like what I need for myself, what other people need from me, how I can be better for them. You know, it's like I was able to sit down and really think about I'm the most happy when I'm in the middle of writing an album, which I've realized. Maybe it's just the first album. Hopefully I'm happy during the other ones. But this one I was really happy. Really happy writing. Any more questions about the album? Only answering album questions. Because I said I would do this. And I had to do it. How did I come up with the auto-tune choice of Harmony on Closer to You? You, blah, blah, blah. And I think what I loved about the in your face, almost like it's, I don't know how else to explain it. I think that's the only way I can explain it. But it was very listener. And it felt like you're talking through a wall, which is what the autotune is supposed to represent, is me talking to the same person through a wall, which is autotune. There are lots of things like that that I loved doing on the record, putting meaning into things like that, like how the explosion of to me now that I've made that connection. I didn't know it at the time, but I can see it now. I can see it so clearly now. There's a lot of things on the album like that where I find, you know, just like not doing this well. I was feeling a little bored and wanted to stress everyone out. um, which probably shouldn't have done that. But I really like Sophia as the third single. But anyway, softly. Because it's the first time I'm doing something like that. Like it's been done before, but it's my turn to be corny, to have those cliches. Um what meant the most to me, what's in the center of my life. You know, the tattoos in the center of the picture. You know, not for no reason. I'm still pretty jet lagged, so maybe I'll do a part two. Maybe not. Who knows? But thanks, y'all. That was cute.